complaint is the bottom half doesn't always work all the time, so we'll check it out and see what's going on here. You might have wired it up a little weird too. We put like extensions and that comes right off, that plate.
Yeah,
I just had to do that.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
And I can see it's not wired.
What did they do there?
Okay, they put shims in there like they're supposed to, but the connections are very bad.
Okay, what did they do?
2 wires on 1 screw.
Oh. Well, you probably did them all like that then.
And the insulation is caught under the screws too, so I'm going to have to go down and shut the power off.
Oh, it's going to be hotter now in here. Yeah, which one was that though? I gotta make sure I got the right. That would be east and west.
So here in the country I was born in, we use 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors, however you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or on a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral.
Did I do it?
Yes, just keep the door open, that'll get some more light in there. Okay. So I am going to need a piece of that wire again, the 12-2 and the push-in connectors I'll use.
So 12-2. Here's a light right here.
Okay, okay, I'll set that back over here.
So 12-2 and what?
The push-in connectors. Now, the light, I don't really need that one. Okay. Okay, then those push-in.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. I just gotta get them in the back room.
Okay. And a new outlet.
Huh?
I think
Those are brand new.
Oh, they are new.
They're fairly new, right?
You never put two wires on one screw. And these two are backstabbed in the back.
Did you see anything that would have made that not work on the bottom?
Not yet. But the wires were very sloppily hooked on the screws.
Okay. I'll have to get after that guy.
I think I am going to want a new outlet because the wire's going to break off in the hole here. Then you have a loose
Well,
wire.
those are alright. Those are fairly new, I think, bud. Alright? They'll be alright.
Okay.
Shouldn't be a problem. So how many wires went into the box?
3.
3?
Yep.
3 separate wires?
Yes.
I thought he went from that one to that one and that one to that one. So it'd be just 2, wouldn't there?
Nope, there's 3.
Why the hell would there be 3 there? I don't understand that.
And you put one ground wire on the cover screw
What,
here.
There's 3 different whites, 3 different blacks?
Yep.
My God, why did he do that? I don't know. Then what do? Kind of build it out?
Yeah. I'm going to splice connector.
So what size box is?
It's a 4-inch
It's
square.
a 4x4,
Yeah.
and then he put a
mud ring on the top.
and then yeah. So all right.
Okay, so we'll get our wires all straightened out. So what we're going to do is we're going to pigtail all these wires to our outlet. We got to make sure they're all nice and straight before we push them into the Wago, so that it grabs everything nice and tight. So we're going to use the push-in 4 cuff port Wagos. So we're going to cut our tail out of some number 12 wire, and we're going to make it so it's nice and long. Okay, so make our wire nice and straight. We'll push it in. Make sure the copper comes up to the top. We'll make sure our copper comes up to the top on all of our wires here. Yeah, make sure all our copper is up at the top here all the way. And I'll get it back out of our way. So now we'll get all our whites together here. So we've got our wires back a little bit, so we want to make sure we get our insulation up into the yellow portion here and our copper up to the top here. And I'll show you with our tail wire here to go to our outlet what we want. We want our copper up at the top and our insulation going up into the yellow portion there. Make sure our copper comes up to the top. Do you go to the ice cream place ever up here?
No, I haven't been there. I think I've only been there once since they opened, but
Oh.
it's not too bad, I guess. That's what Coneheads, huh?
Yeah. And there it is. We got our 4 conductors up to the top. Try and push them back into our box here. And our ground wires. Black wires next. So what do you think about Trump sending back all the foreigners?
I think they're kind of getting a little too rough with them now. The illegal ones, yeah, but God, he's grabbing a hold of the ones that have been here forever, though. And that's who picks the fruit in California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who do you think worked for Trump at his golf courses? People that weren't legal citizens. You didn't know that? There was a lady that went on the news over that.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did to him was, is that video going?
Yes.
You can hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anymore. They're getting a little too rough. They got a little too rough with that senator, too.
Mm-hmm.
He was just in there asking a question. And they went nuts on him. I don't like that part of it.
Okay, so we'll check our strip length here. Make sure insulation goes up into the yellow. And that's what you want it to look like right there. Insulation is up in the yellow.
All the way in?
Yep. And we'll put the rest of our wires in. Okay, we got all our copper up to the top here. And our insulation up into the bottom of the yellow there. So we'll put all our yellows, all our wires back into our box. We'll bring our tails out. And we'll put our mud ring back on, which will hold the outlet in. So you like to have plenty of wire sticking out of the box, so if you have to replace your outlet, you don't have to struggle with short wires. I take off about an inch. So here in the country I was born in, your black wire goes on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot. Your white wire goes on the silver screw, which is the wider slot. And your green wire goes on the green screw, or bare wire goes on the green screw. Red and blue are also live colors, so if it's one of them colors, they go on the brass screw. So now we'll hook our outlet up. You always put your wire around the screw, the direction the screw turns. Make sure your insulation's not pinched under the screw head and the copper's under the screw head all the way around. We'll keep our ground wire zigzagged across the bottom, and we'll go in up and down with our black and white. Okay, and I'll bring the camera up close so you can see how I got that folded to go in. Okay, now we can screw this into our box again. I like deeper boxes so you get our ground wires down, so our wires don't get pinched. And we have the shims here to bring the outlet out so it's flush and tight with the wall. They're made by Gardner Bender.
Is one thicker than the other one?
No, they're the same.
Center it in the opening.
Yeah. And we'll put our nice homemade plate in here so the cover is nice.
See a little space on the right side there.
Yep.
Right there is covered. You'll see why.
Oh, the tab of the outlet is bent just a little bit here. Just like that. When I tighten the cover down, I'll flatten. I'll tighten up a little bit, see what it looks like.
Probably snug it, and then you can adjust the back panel to see if it's in the center of everything. Got to go up
And over.
up.
There it is.
Loosen it up a little bit, maybe be able to move it better. Yep. All right, you're open on the right here. I can see something.
Okay.
Why isn't that going to the right?
Gotta go to the right a little bit.
Look at, there you go.
That looks good there.
Looks like it's got to go up too.
There's up. Okay.
So get the top and the bottom the same, and then push it to the right. Got to push it to the right. I can see a little gap thing at the top. On the right edge, I can see. There you go. Now it's covered.
Okay, looks good.
Yeah.
Just tell you how to cover it up. And that is how to properly wire and install an outlet here in the country I was born in that was done improperly. Peace. Thanks for watching. Okay, go down and turn it on.
You got quite the